Man, man, man. What a world we live in now. Ain't that something? One day, the world is one thing. And then you wake up the next, and it's something else totally. Something else entirely. So, when it comes down to this society, well, technically, I'll just say the whole world. This is for you pastors and you preachers and you teachers out there who have been leading the sheep astray, who've been teaching and preaching and saying, I'm prophet or I can heal, and these are I work mighty miracles on the behalf of the Father. You know what I mean? Like, all of you all of you false prophets and teachers out there, and also you naysayers with regards to prophecy. I wonder how all y'all look in the face right now. And not even that, I still see you preachers out there standing up. You see, here's the thing. You've been preaching falsehood your entire ministry. And now all of a sudden, you think you have the ability to stand up with authority and preach and still teach and say, "Oh, my job your job just got serious in your mind. Your job just got important in your own mind. You used to use your platform to leech and suck dry all of the resources of the people, right? You would say tithe this and tithe that, a tenth this and a tenth that, not knowing that the purpose of a tithe was simply for you to give it right back. And that's the sad part about your ministry, right? You cause people to tithe, right? And from that tithe, you got people who you cause people to tithe, and from that tithe, you got people who gave money to you. You took that money and you used it on your yacht, your airplane, and so that you can do more ministry to get more money, and influence more people to your falsehood. But I guarantee you, your bestial nature has already been set, and there's nothing you can do to change that. You see, ignorance is the thing that's trapping a lot of y'all, because you think you can rise up in your ignorance, right? You think you can all of a sudden make a 360 and turn this thing around for good. But no. Ignorance has you trapped and at bay, okay? And there's absolutely nothing you can do. Family, let these preachers know. The falsehood, I'm seeing them. Now is the time to pray more and more. Now is the time to know you false. The time to do that was while you yet had your being. And now that you are in turmoil, while you were yet in your peace, while you were yet in your luxuries and dainties and fat meat, okay? While you were yet enjoying the wealth given to you by the people, right? That was the time to put your fervent best effort forward for the Most High, right? To show forth yourself on his behalf. But y'all don't understand, when you take that mantle of leadership, when you take that mantle of wanting to teach and prophesy or do even right now with what I'm doing, as small as it may seem to be, when you take up that mantle, you better make sure you look at yourself. You better make sure you ensure that you are walking the right walk before you dare to stand up. You see, the building of the kingdom of heaven is so perfect and so delicate that no man with a single blemish can stand within the presence of the temple. You will be taken out of you will be a block taken out of the temple and cast to the side. You're not good for the building of the kingdom of heaven. And so I say to you this. Hear me. Hear me now. The Father is going to do a very specific thing. A very, very specific thing. I'm telling you what's written. He will do a very specific thing to bring glory to his name on behalf of those who are actually true in him. You understand what I'm saying? And so when he does that specific thing, I bid you all run and cleave and do what you need to do to make sure that these are the ones that through them you can alleviate the anger of God in the earth. You see, men are going to start realizing that these doctors are full of I can't say the word, but y'all know what I'm saying. They full of it. Okay, you're gonna find out these doctors are more ignorant than you actually realize, and they really know nothing about the cures and the medicines and the things that people need. For what they do, they live in temporality. Okay, and so they usher out temporality through their own hands, things that last only temporary, and they heal only the body but neglect to heal the soul. And so people get sick again. And so, wisdom is for the healing of the soul, just in case y'all didn't know, so that people won't get sick again. That's why you look into the scriptures and you see commandments and you see things that tell you, instruct you how to be safe. And the scripture says that I give you these commandments, give you all of these commandments this day for your own good, right? For your good means wisdom for you, for your soul, that you direct and treat your members right. You hone your mind, your body, your speaking, everything you're thinking. You begin to unite. You see, that's what a parasitical being does. It hones everything. Harmony is a work of art, people. It's not a creation. It's a work of art. You understand? It takes what's there and harmonizes it, okay? Artfully. You understand? So harmony, peace, it's a work of art. You understand what I'm saying? And so we need the artists out here to rise up and work their masterpiece in the earth. You understand what I'm saying? So you have good, you have bad, but the harmony of the two, that's a work of art. You understand? This, all that you see, this creation that you see, it's God's work of art. You understand what I'm saying? And the body that you've been created in, that's the Father's work of art. And so the Son works that art as well. And so on behalf of the Son, the Father is going to do a very specific thing, people. Out of the dirt, the dust and ash, where you all least expect it, the Father is going to do a very specific thing. Because I'm going to tell you like this. The Father is big on turning the least of these into the greatest. You understand what I'm saying? So that none rise up in pride. So that none can do a single thing. You understand what I'm saying? So do you really think David was the mightiest of them all? No, amongst his brothers, he was the least of these. Yea, a shepherd. You understand what I'm saying? Moses, he killed, an Egyptian. And you got all of the brothers who you look back and you realize that they were lowly. John the Revelator, lowly. Man from the wilderness. You understand what I'm saying? Saying, make straight the path of the Lord. I'm telling y'all right now. He's about to do a very specific thing out of the dust of the earth and cause his kingdom to rise up quickly. You understand what I'm saying? Not in time. You see, you understand what he has done that took gradually, that took time to do, was done with beyond the seeing of the eyes. You understand what I'm saying? You could not see what was being done. Even Christ said that the kingdom of heaven cometh, but yet men see it not. You cannot see the kingdom of heaven with carnal eyes. But now we are in a time frame where the kingdom of heaven is going to manifest right before your very eyes. And you all are going to see it. And so he's going to do a specific thing just to make it clear. I am the Lord. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to do it very specific just to make it clear to y'all. You pastors, you preachers, you teachers, you who have been preaching for X amount of years or however long you've been at the work. You've been claiming, I'm healing, yet you got to close your congregations because you can heal no one at this time, right? Every member should use their wise, forget your, oh, this is my pastor, I love him. Forget your heart, forget your partiality, forget your respect of persons, and do without respect of persons. Do without partiality. Understand, these pastors and these preachers and these teachers, according to the scriptures, even in the book of Esdras, it is written that men will turn to those who have taught them and seek to slay them because they laid them all astray. You understand? And those of you who look to history, you will look to your history and say, we have inherited lies. You understand what I'm saying? All y'all about to be tripped up on the life that y'all have been living because it's far from what the truth actually is. There is no pastor, no preacher standing in a pulpit in these churches who can teach you a single thing. That is the reason why all of this is happening, is because the Father saw it throughout each and every church and saw and knew that there's no single church out here that is doing the work he set for that church to do. You tithe and you take and you create a building fund, or you do this or you do that. Everything but help the people. Right? And so if someone does come to seek help from you, they got to go through all types of paperwork and all these, that, and the other questioning. And what are you going to use it for? Things like that. You got to make sure that if you give to this person, they're going to do exactly what you tell them to do with the money. Things like that. And they're not going to be able to use it for their own help and things like that. You want to not just have the money, but you want to control how the money is used. Once you give it, you understand what I'm saying? There's a difference. You can control how you give it. But once it's been given, it's out your hands and in the hands of God. So you who look at the homeless, right? And you say, I'm not going to give to the homeless. All they're going to do is what? Get drugs and shoot up with it. That ain't your problem. You understand what I'm saying? Wash your hands with that and put it in the hands of the Lord. For that homeless person will have to give an account with what the Lord gave them, just as well as you will have to give an account with what the Lord gave you. You understand what I'm saying? And so all men's hands are washed at the doings of another man, but only the doings of your own heart is what you will be held accountable for. And another man will be held accountable for the doings of his own heart. And so your evil does not annul my good, and so then I will be good. And so the love of the Father will be shown throughout the earth when all men are loving, even though evil intent is still out there. All men are loving, right? And with that evil intent, the Father judges. And so men know the Lord. And so men know God. Because they've done something contrary to what they were, what they deceived the giver out of in order to get the gift. But then God is the giver, the receiver, and the gift. And so in every aspect, you understand what I'm saying? He watches, he seeks, and where he sees righteousness, he glorifies. And where he sees evil, he judges and condemns. And all y'all about to find out that mystery. You You pastors, you teachers, fear greatly. Why? Because you've stepped to a podium that you did not deserve. Neither were you ever called to that podium. You felt such a inspiring inspiration in your heart, but then Satan turned all of that. You understand what I'm saying? In his Babylon, because understand this. The mystery of Babylon is this. Not even Babylon, but the Tower of Babel is what I'm talking about. The mystery of the Tower of Babel is this. Understand what I'm saying? People built a tower that could possibly reach up to heaven, shooting up arrows into heaven, saying, I will sit on the throne of the Father. And yet you all look throughout the earth and you cannot see that men have risen up to the seat, the place of God. The place of God is that he is the king, the governor, the ruler over all men and within all men. You understand what I'm saying? And so these kingdoms have been trying to control your very essence, what you are, what you do, how you move, how you walk, how you talk. They play God in the earth, climbing up the Tower of Babel. Okay? And with them doing that, family, you got to understand, the Tower of Babel is not just a confusion of languages. Okay? Well, it is the confusion of a language, but you got to understand what that language is, because y'all think that words are required for language when it comes down to the Father, and you're absolutely incorrect. I'll say, I can't even say absolutely incorrect, because words have a part to do with that. But you got to understand that the thing behind the words, the understanding that comes, the intent that's conveyed, these are the things that precede the language that's even spoken and or received. You understand what I'm saying? See, things are not spoken for in vain. You understand? All things are spoken to convey your heart, to convey a meaning, to tell something, to give understanding, wisdom, things like that. And so the Father bypasses language, and then understanding is just simply important. Wisdom is just simply important. Knowledge is just simply important, because the Father doesn't need speaking, a tongue to speak, a mouth to formulate words. You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't need these carnal, fleshly things to convey his message. And so then when you get beyond that, you get the language of creation, right? You get the language of senses, right? Where my eyes speak a language, where when you look at this video, you see the language of the tone of my skin. You know, you hear the language of my words, right? You see the expressions on my face, things like that. You could language is 80% nonverbal. Isn't that what scientists in their ignorance have discovered? And so I bid you this: language is 100% nonverbal, okay? And the verbiage is only meant for an aid and assistance, okay? For you. You understand what I'm saying? You see, I'm speaking to my finger right now without words. And so that's the greatest language of all, okay? That my finger doesn't need words to understand what I want it to do. And so I'm speaking, and my finger, by moving, is also aiding my voice. You understand? So my voice is really the tool. That's it. But then the essence of the tool is far greater. So why is the voice called the language and not the thing behind the voice? So the thing behind the voice, the will and the desire, the intent, the what it imparts, the knowledge and the understanding. These are the true voices. And so the Tower of Babel confounded that. Family. I'm not talking about at the tool level, but at the core level, people were confounded. Okay? Where men do not understand each other on core levels. You understand what I'm saying? And so We live in a place where all of the senses are confounded and confused and taught lies and cannot perceive and things like that, right? We live in a place where all our senses are confounded. But I guarantee you this, specific, the Father is getting ready to do some things that will turn that confoundment, okay, all of that confusion of your senses, things like that, you will be placed in we will all be put into a place or into a position whereby we would have to deny and utterly reject what we know and say that all that I've been taught, all that I know, all the preachers, all the teachers, all of my thinking, all of my way of living, all of that will have to be thrown in the trash where it belongs. And then you see life. You see life. You see, the Father will show you life outside of your own life so that you can perceive the life that should have been or ought to be in you. For your help, for your aid. You understand? Because that's nothing but what the Bible written is. But then you're going to see the scriptures living in this age. But the Bible written was meant to take all of the confinement of your senses and bring them into a hone, a artistry. You understand? Where you hone what your eyes see. You become the very masterpiece of what your words speak. You understand what I'm saying? You become the artist of your own life. And so, wow, you pastors, you preachers, you teachers, you prophets, you evangelists, all of you who've accepted sin in your congregation, who compromised your beliefs for the sake of the heart of the one in error. And instead of being the one who stood firm in the heart of God, because there's only one heart we need to be fighting for, and that's the heart of God, not the heart of a man, but the heart of God. And so had you all, churches, done just that and fought for the heart of God, then there would be no false speaking in tongues in your church. I'm going to tell you, because I've went from church to church. I've seen you all. You understand what I'm saying? I went from church to church. I've seen a Presbyterian church and how they falsify the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues. I've seen Latter-day Saints and how they falsify the Sabbath day and have no understanding, no true understanding in what they believe. Church of Christ and how they think taking away the instruments in the church, okay, is aiding and abetting their ascension into the kingdom of heaven. You Baptists, I grew up in you. Okay, and I could see how you compromise with the wicked around you. Okay, you Catholic, I see you praying to false gods. I see all that y'all out here doing. You understand what I'm saying? You false preachers and evangelists, I see you taking money from the people. I see you going out here buying coats and things like that. I see everything y'all doing. You feel me? I see everything y'all doing, and I had to realize what the Father had done to me. Okay, what spirit he had woken up to me. You feel me? Sometimes I can't always put it to words, but oh my goodness. I'm at a point where I done honed my own eyes. You see? I done sat down with people and talked to them about this crazy truth. And we done got to the understanding of knowing that it is what it is and things like that. But it was far more in my thinking than I realized. You understand what I'm saying? It became a sensing, a type of sensing. I didn't realize my soul was awakened. And yet now it grows all the more each day. I see what every one of y'all are out there doing. And I'm calling y'all on it because that's the work. That's the work. That's what the scriptures, that's what the Father has always set the work out to be, to see them and call them on it. What did he ask Jeremiah, right? Something so simple. What did he ask Jeremiah when Jeremiah saw the vision of the turned over pot? He said, "What seest thou?" That was the only key, that was the main key thing that I got out of that writing. What seest thou? And then Jeremiah proceeded to explain exactly what he saw, the way he saw, how he saw. Do you not understand? Men can see themselves but not recognize who they are. Men see themselves a turned over pot of themselves, but cannot tell you what manner of sin. Tell me who you are. Whether you are a prolonger, whether you're an adulterer, whether you are a reviler, whether you are a covetous and sexual immorality. Tell me all these things. You understand what I'm saying? Tell me who you are. Tell me what manner of sin you've done. You know, you pastors, you preachers, tell me what you do wrong. Only then will you all realize exactly the world you cannot see. But then that's going to be thrust upon you, whether you like it or not. You will find out who you are in the midst of who you are. And that's going to devastate a lot of y'all. I promise you. It's going to destroy a lot of y'all world. You pastors, you preachers, you teachers, you make me sick. And I mean that. You make the house of God sick. The church of God sick. You understand what I'm saying? You are a plague. And now you receive your pestilence. You have to close your doors. You cease. Just like Christ came and all of the sacrifice, the false bloody sacrifices that men did not understand was a type of Christ, meant to teach them the way of Christ and what it meant to say, what it means to sacrifice. You understand? You got to put your blood, sweat, and tears in the good that you do, the righteousness that you do, the cleanliness that you make of yourself and of others. You got to put your sweat and your hard work into it. You gotta be true. You understand? It took a lot of cultivating and time and effort to make sure that lamb was pure for sacrifice. You understand what I'm saying? And then to pay attention to what it takes, to what made it pure, was meant for you to turn that on yourself and pay attention to what it takes to make you pure, to make you right, to make you clean in the presence of the Father who is yet beyond the threshold of the door in your house. You understand? I guarantee you the Father is back home right now in your house. And none of y'all can stay him this time. You understand what I'm saying? Yea. Listen to how he judged the children of Israel, for he had to judge his own house first, so that in judging the world, none of y'all have a single thing to say, because he judged the house of Israel first. And yet he told Israel this: yet if you continue in your falsehood, in your selfhood, in your bestial nature, you understand what I'm saying? If you continue in that, then when I turn it over sevenfold, that's why it's 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 bowls, 7 seals, 7 trumpets. That's 7 folds. You understand what I'm saying? 7 folds of judgment is going to happen every time you all lack to repent. You see, listen at this. The coronavirus might end a week or 2 from now, and all y'all gonna continue your life and go right back onto it, right? Y'all gonna continue thinking in your carnal minded way, and that's it's meant to happen that way, right? The Father's like, let me see what happens. Those who now, while my hand of judgment is down, those who now sit up there and say, oh, the Lord is coming, oh, this is revelation, while my hand is down, let's see I see that their hearts circumcising. You understand what I'm saying? And piercing to realize that I'm real. But then, what'll happen if I lift my hand back up again? Will they go back to their old ways again? And I guarantee you a lot of y'all will. A lot of y'all will not continue. Because this is a work. You understand what I'm saying? It becomes a work. Your life work, where you put all your work aside, your whole life aside, you pick up your cross and you follow. And we all begin to ignore the life that we live and begin to build in the kingdom of heaven. I'm talking about throw in the trash your MBA career, your business, your everything. Throw it all in the trash. Turn all of this life aside, because that's the Antichrist, this false life that we live. That is the against Christ. This whole life is against Christ. Christ is eternal. That which is temporal is against that which is eternal. And that which is eternal does not comprehend that which is temporal. And that which is temporal does not comprehend that which is eternal. Yet the temporal comes out of the eternal, and the temporal means nothing at all. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, let's see how many of y'all gonna start picking up your cross after this. What does picking up your cross mean? Anaya, we don't know. How may we live that we may achieve and obtain life? Is what the man asked Christ. And Christ turned to him and said, if you have 2 coats, oh my God, take off the one and give to the other. Yea, and look, I say to you, if you have the 1 coat and you're full of strength and you're with life, and you know you can survive, and even if you know you cannot, I guarantee you, if you get to the lowest point where you have not, and even with the little that you have, you yet still dare. You understand what I'm saying? You dare to love. You dare to do good. You dare to put in your 2 cents. All praises to the Most High. So that you can do something. You want to help. Your desire to help the Father in his work, even with your little bitty hands over your little bitty life, is enough to give you life in a great hand of blessings. Come on, bro. And yet y'all don't realize what's going on right now. Come on, bro. I'm calling all you pastors, you preachers, you teachers out, all you temporal believers and worshipers right now, because that's what you are. You lip servicers right now. You are all y'all want to go and right now present your lip service in prayer to the Father. But I guarantee you, because of your walk, he does not hear your lip service. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all want to say, oh, the Father hears all. I guarantee you, he hears all. And to say he does not hear means that he chooses not to receive what he heard from you. Being wicked, being evil, being false. You understand? And I gave you a word. It's called stoic, so that you understand what makes a thing true is when all things are coming. I had a situation in my life, okay? And I'm only saying this just to give you all an example. No boast, no nothing. Take it how you want it. Get it how you live. Understand what I'm saying? I had a situation where all the dominoes fell on me, and yet I changed not. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't turn to cuss nobody out, to talk bad about nobody, to call anybody out their name. I only spoke about some things that they may have been doing, yes, and what the likeness of what they've done causes them to be, but never about them. Many of them they can recall me quiet because my speaking would have come out with something evil. They recall me saying, saying something of love, something worth of love. Still, I know it's almost like I kind of knew what was going on, but still, I pray that they can still hear my voice to this day. You understand what I'm saying? And that they can hear the Father's voice till this day, because now is the hour. And so, in the midst of highs and lows and rights and wrongs, what paradise is that place of peace. And you changing and you being still and calm and changing not in your essence. For if you're full of love, then you will be full of love where everyone around you is hateful. Listen, you got to be ready to stand up for love and righteousness when you are the only one in the room of 1,000 people. When you understand Samson, and how he was the only one, in a sense, in a room standing up for righteousness. And so thousands perished. And so I'm telling you, those 1,000 around you will perish. And when you learn to stand up firm for the Father, even when you, because we all got those pendulums. Well, I don't have them anymore, but that's what becomes of you when you learn to stand still. You have no more ups and downs, no more anyone coveting and taking your peace, because the sons of darkness seek most of all to steal your peace. You understand? But they cannot steal your peace that is within you and generated by the Father. You understand what I'm saying? And so while they may be on the outside, on the external world, doing whatever they do to play on your instrument, they cannot. They cannot, because you stand firm within. And so from within, no matter what happens without, you remain unaffected. So understand this. All that to say this, family. Specifically, the kingdom of heaven, I'll say this. The work cannot be done with 1,000 voices. You understand what I'm saying? There needs to be one voice. There needs to be one voice, meaning a vision, one aim, everybody understand what's one path. There it is, that we all need to take. And so there cannot be many paths. Right now, this is an ambitious time for the wicked, for the evil, for the false prophet, for the false. This is a very ambitious time for them to stand up. You understand what I'm saying? And seize hold of the people who are now seeking help, a savior, something to help them out. They're seeking Christ to come back. You understand what I'm saying? And so these false prophets and these false teachers are rising up and seek that. This is a most opportune time for them to be more ambitious than they've ever been in their life. And so they want to seize the glory. You understand? They're doing it simply just the same, for the same reason, in the same way that they've worked their entire life. They will continue and persist on doing what they're doing for selfish reasons, right? For their own glory, in the disguise of glorifying God. You understand what I'm saying? These are men out here seeking to do all things for their own glory in the disguise of glorifying God. And so, were your eyes open, you would see that this man is only glorifying himself. So, the Father has to take all that down. All the false images, the false prophets, take them all down off of the threshold and raise up the shepherd of David, right? The lowly, right? So that not the high nor even the lowly can boast. Okay? Because this one building of the kingdom, this method of building of the kingdom, right, will cause all the poor and all of the rich to not have a single means with which to boast. In building the kingdom, those who are part of the building will regard neither the rich nor the poor, the old nor the young, the influenced or the less influenced. You know what I'm saying? They will regard none. They will see all men alike and go forward and do the work of the Father, knowing that there is only one that in whom they seek to glorify, and that is God and God alone. And He is the one who has all things, who is all things, and through whom can work as He pleases. And so, It pleases the Father that the grass, out of the grass, you understand? He receives the greatest glory, right? Where we are weak, right? He's the strongest. You understand what I'm saying? And so all you false prophets, you're about to come down. Keep on talking. And then pestilence will come directly to you. Keep on living falsely. And then destruction is going to come directly your way. Just to make the statement clear. You understand what I'm saying? You will be put in a place where you can do nothing to stop the thing that you're claiming to have power over. You think you can cure, you claim you can cure, you will find out just how false that prophet is. They will have to close their own doors. They will no longer be able to do any curing in the earth. We're not going to hear them. I even heard African prophets talking about going to China to kill coronavirus and things like that. I guarantee you. All y'all about to be showed up for how washed up you actually all are. And this has been going on for centuries. And the Father has been sitting back watching y'all do this falsehood. He's been watching y'all do it. And now, destruction is at hand to show you all up for the falsehood you actually are. Now, those whose eyes are open will see. They will question and say, Pastor, haven't you been healing? Why can you not heal this? And so many people will turn to the Antichrist and they will say, you cannot possibly be the Antichrist because you cannot raise the dead. See, people will wise up to your falsehood. You understand what I'm saying? You Antichrists in the earth, who has built his own church, who has built his Tower of Babel. You Antichrists or will be shown up in the earth for your falsehood. You understand what I'm saying? For your falsehood. And then the Father will raise up the truth so that all men know and cleave to that truth, because he's going to raise up the truth so that people can see what direction they need to take. And those who understand will learn to take that direction, will go and take that direction. And he does as he pleases. And so that which he raises up is what he pleased to raise up. You understand what I'm saying? So he will take the truth. He will raise up the truth. And then all men will flock to the truth and they will all become that one truth. And so destruction of Babylon and falsehood and everything will happen all from that one simple single mustard seed that grew into a mighty tree and destroyed all of the falsehood as if it were an Armageddon in the earth. Destroyed all the falsehood in the earth. You understand what I'm saying? And then y'all understand Armageddon, but that's a whole nother video. So all praises to the Most High. Peace, blessings, and shalom. And you false preachers, you false teachers out there, he coming. He coming for you. You won't be able to lie to the people no more. It makes me sick. Shalom.